What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sam the Beard Guy channel. So I just got back today from a week-long vacation in Miami. And so I've never talked about my story on this channel, but I got my master's degree in music out at Miami, University of Miami in Florida. And so just spending a week out there, really, it took me back to school and just things, just a whole week thinking about things I would have done differently, things that I wish I could still be doing. Just all those kind of like different thoughts that go through your brain when you're just revisiting any kind of nostalgic place. I wanted to get home and make this video of just some things that, you know, I wish that either I could go back and tell my 18-year-old self, or maybe you could tell maybe you're 40 and you're just now starting music, whatever stage you're in, but just things that would be helpful to younger players in their career, and just how to navigate the music world. I'm not a music business expert, and there are very large numbers of people that are more successful than me, but I do think at least these things that I want to share are applicable in a lot of ways that can be beneficial. So thank y'all for the support so far. It's been awesome. You know, we're trucking along. So also these new glasses, man. I just got these babies, and I freaking love them. I feel like either an old person or the villain in Far Cry. I think it's Far Cry 5. I forgot his name. All right, so number one, education is more important than school. So that's kind of a contradicting statement, but at least for me, you hit 17, 18, the obvious next move is to go to college. And I have zero issues with kids going to college to get a music degree. But where I would caution people is making sure that the school that you choose to go to is going to provide education in the way of having ample opportunities to play, be in ensembles, be exposed to a community of musicians that are going to better you and make you better. What I would really caution people against is going to schools that have a very small community of people. They could have the most talented private lesson teacher teaching you at that small school, but if you don't have other musicians that you're going to be around all the time and learning from, that's a huge miss. And to be clear, I'm not saying this because that's what I did. Neither one of the schools I went to were small by any means. So for whatever reason, if one of my old professors is watching this, I'm not taking digs at any of the two schools I went to. But I can say that because I've seen how valuable going to really big music schools, how valuable having that networking community of musicians can be. So education is more important than school, just in the sense of what you learn from your peers is as, if not more important than what you're going to learn in a one-on-one private lesson instructional time. And that might be a controversial statement, and some people might disagree with me, but the time I spent in Miami, I grew more as a musician in Miami than I did when I was in school in Texas, and I took zero lessons for the most part. I took maybe a few, but I took essentially zero lessons in Miami. And I grew as a musician in Miami farther than I ever grew when I was in Texas studying. So your community musicians, the people that are around you, that's extremely important. So don't gyp yourself on that. And one way for you to really just dig into the education just being more important than maybe one-on-one time you have with private lesson teachers or just classroom material, going out and listening to music. Like when I was in Miami, I literally would try and go out 3-4 nights a week and listen to whoever I could listen to. There's always a better piano player. There's always a better band. There's always a more advanced group. So just going out and just hearing other people play, that experience just garnered so much fruit in my musical life and just what I was exposing my ears to, what I was seeing people play, who I was meeting. Like, I got called to gigs because I went to someone's gig and met someone, and they couldn't make a gig in a month, and they called me for it. And so going out and listening to other people play, I am really passionate about this specific part of being a musician, in that if you're trying to make it in the gigging space, you have to be going out and hanging out with people and listening to people and being a part of the community. When I was 22 and I moved to Miami, I was going hard to the hole on meeting as many people as I could and just going out and just being exposed. It's a numbers game to some degree. If you want to get called for stuff, you got to be in front of people. And the music, at least the gigging world, is not very nice. It's not very forgiving to the introverts of the world. And I know that's hard to hear for some people, because some people are wired, they just want to sit on the couch forever, and that's just what they want to do. But if you want to thrive in the music scene and get called for stuff, you have to be around people. Are there exceptions to that rule? Sure. Some people are that talented. For the average Joes like me and a lot of other people, you got to be around people and get exposed. So go out, be part of the community, listen to people play, because that is part of the education that you're going to get from the city that your school is in. So yeah, do that, please. All right, next point, diversify what you play. So this is also a really important one to me, because I personally cannot stand being around people that are so just in one lane that they can't play any other types of music. Like, they are the most proficient, like, killing jazz players out there, and you call them for a church gig and they just fall apart. And it's like easy contemporary worship music, and they just have no idea how to do it, because all they know how to do is play jazz standards and stuff in 7. And so that's not to take away from a lot of those people's talent, but you are going to frankly just make more money if you can play more genres of music. And so I've been in certain areas that are not jazz at all, and it took years for those people to realize that I actually had some chops. And I don't say that pridefully, I'm just saying it's like, because I just went and did the gig and what the gig was supposed to be as far as like what I played, that they didn't know that I could play the way that I can play until 6 months deep, a year in. And so yeah, diversify what you play. You're gonna make more money, and it's just gonna get you more exposure to more people. I've met like really killer players on the most boring wedding cover band gigs, but meeting them there and like just getting to talk to them led to actually more creative and fun gigs to play. So yeah, diversify what you play, be in as many different music genres as you can. You shouldn't be in 20 and just suck at all of them, but you should be able to, play several genres and gig with them, because that's just gonna be good for your wallet and just networking. My next point, this might be the potentially most insulting and direct one, but it just kind of is what it is. Be fun to be around. No one likes being around not fun people. That's just kind of the way it is. And I want to separate kind of two gig worlds. There's a difference between being in an 80-person orchestra and y'all are all just there to play the music, and to what degree y'all have interaction is kind of up in the air. I'm more so talking about your 4, 5, 6-person ensemble or group going out and playing on a Friday, Saturday night at a club or bar. Those are the situations and the environments in which be fun to be around. Like, don't be weird, don't be a jerk, don't be late, don't be unprepared, don't be awkward. Like, just be better at socializing. And look, I know that some people have a hard time socializing. That just means you got to work harder at this, because I'm telling you, as cruel as it can be, a lot of people out there don't want to hire people that are weird or are just not pleasant to be around. They could be the most killer player in the world, but if it's not going to be a good hang, then they're not going to want to call you. Like, a lot of music gigs they have a very friend feel to them. You're just a bunch of people playing music together, having fun, which is what music should be about. And so if you're just not a pleasant person to be around, you need to work on that, because I mean, I know from my own experience, there are people that I can think of right now that obviously I'm not going to say, but there are people that I stopped calling because it was just tough. It was like, you're not fun. Like, you are like uptight and stressful, and this is making me hate music. So I'm not going to call you anymore. Next point. It is okay to not do music full time. So this is where the music elitist nerds kind of come out of hiding and, flex and like really go to war for this issue. But there's kind of this group of people that are very music elitist that think that, hey, if you choose to not do music full time, then you're selling out, or you're, giving in to corporate America, whatever it is. Like, you're just, you're not good enough, or you're less of a person because you're not doing music full time. That's absolute baloney. Those are another type of people I can't stand being around. I can't, I'm already thinking of people and I'm like throwing up in my mouth. The reality is, music is supposed to be fun, and music is subjectively different to each individual. And I mean that every person experiences music differently, and it's fun in different ways to each individual differently. And so for people to have this like kind of snobby attitude about this is what music should be to everyone, and if you don't want to do music full time, then you're selling out, you're giving into corporate greed. If you get a 9-to-5, you're a loser. There are legit people out there. And when I was in school, I saw it all the time. Like, there was almost this shame of like, hey, like the real cats, they like make it. And then if you like choose to get a day job, what an idiot. Like there's, and maybe it's not that extreme, depending on where you're at, but I definitely saw it and I definitely felt it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with an adult saying, hey, I'd rather not be a musician that has to gig all weekend long because I want a family, I want kids, and I want to hang out with them, and I don't want to be stuck doing all that stuff. So I'm going to build my life in a certain way to accommodate certain goals I have. Yeah, so if you're one of those, music snobs that likes to talk down to people if they don't do music full time, just do better. So, all right, the last point. On that note, if you are going to do music full time, you need to be listening to music, transcribing, practicing. I already talked about going out and hanging out with people and just seeing other people play, but you need to consume music and just dig in and just absolutely surround your life with music. Because if you don't do that, if you want to do music full time, you got to put in the grind, because you're going to get overlooked and overrun and just trampled on. The reality is, gigging is only going to get harder and harder as far as there being space in the market for live gigs to exist. And if you're not just shedding it out and just practicing like crazy, you're going to get left behind. Not only would I not want to call people that are not fun to be around, I definitely don't want to call people that suck. So make sure you are putting in the time. And also just remembering that realistically, the younger you are, the more likely you're going to have a life at that time where you get to practice. It only gets harder. You get married, you have kids, whatever, you have less time to practice. And so take advantage of the time that you have now, however young you are or whatever life stage. If you have the time to practice and to put in the work, do it. Because if you don't, I know a lot of people think, this is a minor political statement, a lot of people think the world owes them something, but regardless of whether you believe that The world is not currently set up that way. Yeah, so that's just like 5, like, I think pretty easy to digest things that I think are really important in the music world. If you want to take it more seriously, or you're getting started, you're about to go to school, whatever it is, these are, I think, are just important, very applicable across all genres. If y'all like this video, like, sub, share, do all the things that y'all like to do for me. That would be sick. Go follow me on Instagram, Sam the Beard Guy. You know, I haven't even broken 1,000 followers on Instagram, or subs, which is like kind of sad and hurtful. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all later.